Welcome back to Kin in Line. I think this is part 57. Here we have, 57. As I mentioned earlier, I married a girl called Anne, and her dad lived in Graaff-Reinet. Now, there's nothing more terrifying than the father of your wife, your father-in-law, or your mother-in-law. Particularly fathers, though. I think they're so protective of their daughters. So I was somewhat terrified of this. His name was Philip, and I managed to get a sketch going of him during one of our visits to their home. I'm not sure what his right arm is doing. It seems to be stretching out and leaning on something. Here we have him in a different pose. Sure. Use two colors of kind of a pencil crayon type thing. My drawings are dotted around all over the show. There are other drawings of him later on, which I haven't been able to find yet. One of his two sons had a little aviary, and these are sketched in that aviary. I'm not sure what sort of bird they are. I'm not a great fan of keeping birds in cages, but anyway, it gave me a chance to sketch them, so I suppose there is that to it. To see these things flitting around in those cages, they were minute. Then I'm not quite sure who this guy was, but it's quite a complete drawing. So his ear moved a bit. Oh, then there's quite a weird one of a cat. They have certainly got sometimes a strange character with those eyes. Okay, so I would have liked to have included a whole lot of other drawings from life, but at this point I just want to wade through these sort of creations from the imagination again. Imagination creations. Yeah. No. Ah, yes. I remember this fellow with his bum palm trees. Just focus, please. So he had these palm trees growing, seeming to grow out of the cheeks of his backside. But maybe they're growing on the shoreline there behind him. It's just wearing a kind of a mask. This was drawn on PFP paper. And in my brother Ian's handwriting, Daraskopopoulos or something. There are Greek people in South Africa as well. But what a weird picture. Yeah, and in the army we used to, some guys called each other chasps. So I just worked with the spelling a bit, chasps. And he doesn't look like he's in the army, with a sort of weird armhole there. One of our pets. We certainly had a different sort of collection of pets. Look at the hole where his mouth is. It's punched in for a folder, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know what species these are, but they're certainly unique, as is this bird. Oh, here I've identified this one. It's a two-legged salamander with tail. And I must have somehow secured some offcuts of paper that are long and thin. Saturday Stroll is what this one's called. And he's quite weird as well. So there would have been some printing done on it from somewhere. That's probably why it was an offcut or a rural African with pipe. And you have to look a bit to see the face in this. And looks like a windmill in the background. Nice finger there, actually, to reach those little eyes, to scratch. And here is this guy looking enviously, covetously at this bowl of fruit. It's funny, fruit is shown often as a sign of sort of wealth and decadence, like in the Roman times. But who really associates fruit with decadence? I mean, eating grapes and apples and bananas. Not me. It's healthy eating. There was a derogatory term for Afrikaners at the height of apartheid who were considered hairy-backs. It wasn't very pleasant, but a reality nonetheless. So I think I played with that, as we've got two rather hairy characters who need to focus, guys. Yeah, there we go. So really nice overweight figures covered in hair. And some sort of character standing on some rocks. Lovely nose. This one's got a magnetic personality. This is a two-faced fellow on a plinth. I think this could have been inspired by my mom in her younger days when we were all at school, 5 children, and she had to make us sandwiches. So she did a lot of cutting of bread and buttering and so forth. And often we just had white margarine mixed with yellow butter to make it last longer. White margarine was terrible stuff. Yeah, another cat. And this could well be me. It's kind of a self-portrait in a sense. Sketching or maybe taking notes, but not looking very confident about it. I'm just going to go quickly through a few more of these. The Dutch influence again. Yeah, there's a whole book of them here. Bongo drum player. Picasso-esque, I guess. And our new benevolent state president, nominated by his caucus, 12th day of July 84. So that's when PW became executive state president. Doesn't really capture him. Walking of a small dog. And then praying for deliverance from this apartheid setup. Renadar. Just a few escapist landscapes. Incorporated the ink there into the drawing. And again, sort of humanized rocks there. And just to close off, just got some writing in this book. But this was how, these are military symbols on the left there. But I see the United Building Society clearly was a big sponsor of the military. So, you know, they talk about the military-industrial complex, but so many countries hook up with the private sector, and things go wrong when that happens. Anyway, I'll leave it for now. Just